Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Keep Keep Calm and Carry. Naturally, I'm Mark. I'm glad everybody's swung by. I'm just going to give it a couple minutes here to get everybody up and running. So right off the bat, Logan, great to see you. And we'll just give it here just a couple of moments just to see who is going to pop up in the audience. If you're here, by all means, sound off in the chat so I can say hi to everybody. And like I said, here, give me just a second and we'll get going here momentarily. Just had to answer a real quick text there. So, all right, so far in the chat, we've got Snarpo8. Hey, how you doing? Logan, again, how's it going? Glad to see you kicking around here. And Andrew, always a pleasure to see you. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. William Hanson, um, look forward to hear what you guys have to say. Now, this episode, BR549, what's going on? Rock on back to you. So this episode, it's just me, alone and unafraid. Don't have any special guests this week, so I'm going to rely heavily on your guys' input and to see what you guys have to say on current events. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the news here lately. A lot of things here domestically, a lot of things internationally, and I wanted to kind of talk about some of the projects that I'm working on as well. So without further ado, let's just get kind of right into it. So as everybody knows, I am running the Glock 26 for my EDC. And one of the reasons why I like it so much is the fact that it's extremely versatile. It's small, but it still has a full-size double stack pistol grip, so you don't have to really worry about transitioning between, like, say, a single stack Glock 43 to a Glock 19. If you're used to running both of those, you don't have to worry about having to figure out your resizing of your hand. So I really like that. But one of the things, obviously, that I've talked about several times in the past is that I'm looking to kind of expand my horizons on the different pistols that I'm looking into. Currently, let me see if I can reach over here and grab this thing. Excuse me one second. Caught myself unprepared. So one of the pistols that I'm working on right now, which is going to be a little bit difficult to EDC, is double check that that we're clear here. Is the H&K VP9. So this particular pistol I've actually had out and ran quite a bit. The weekend before last, I was able to do some draw and fire drills, double tapping a steel target at 7 yards, trying to get my hit draw and firing 1 to 2 shots down as the shortest period of time as I possibly could. I was averaging anywhere between 1.6 and 1.75 seconds on a draw and a single or double tap. So it's pretty good. Fits real good in the hand. I was able to hit a target, another steel target at 65 yards. So that was extremely impressive. So naturally, one person in the comments right here is responsible for me to have this pistol. I do like it, but one of the problems, and I'm going to go into depth on this in a review, but one of the problems that I have found so far is the slide catch, slide release, bolt catch, whatever the heck you want to call this, because it's 3 different things people call it. It doesn't fit well with my hand, especially where my thumb ends up. So if I'm grasping it, and I'm doing thumbs forward, I have the tendency of inadvertently allowing the slide to run forward when it's empty. So that's kind of one of my major complaints. But I will say that the trigger on this is probably one of the nicest triggers right out of the box that I've ever had the pleasure to shoot. So so high marks on the H&K VP9. Like I said, I'm going to do a full review on this. Also running the G2 munitions Talos ammunition. Really like that. Again, I'm still trying to get that review pulled together. So let's swing over to the comments here, see what's going on, see what everybody's up to. Scrolling up, we've got, of course, like I've said, Snarpo8. Again, how you doing? Logan, William, Andrew, Officer Greg. Always great to have you here. Stephen, good to see you as well. Glock 27 guy. You know, I hate to burst anybody's bubble, but I am not a 40 cal fan. I think that round was a solution trying to find a problem, and I get the need for the FBI to come out with a caliber that was that had less recoil than the 45, but had more more power than the 9mm. I understand that, but I don't know. With the way that technology has advanced in this day and age, I think that personally, I think the 40 cal is obsolete. So I hate to break anybody's bubble. That's my personal opinion. That's all it is. So like it, love it. You know, I totally understand why you have it. So by all means, if you love it, if you like to run it, go for it. Go for it. So Ruger Security 9, thoughts on that? I have not had a chance, Logan, to mess with the Ruger Security 9. I have heard good things, I've heard bad things, but I haven't had one in my hand as of yet. Andrew, it is a good looking gun because I'm pretty sure you may be responsible for that gun. Let's see, 65 yards. Yeah, the shots at 65 yards were not as difficult as I was expecting it. In the Army, when I had to qualify with the M9, you did have a 50-yard shot that you have to hit, and I was about 80% effective on that range. But reaching out to 65 yards, I just put the sight right on top of the steel target. It was a half silhouette target, so basically here on the chest up, so about 3 feet tall. I put the dot right on top of the target, and ping it went. So on the very first round, so I was very excited about that. Recently joined the 9mm club. Was always a 40 guy at work and a 45 guy off duty. Just bought an M&P 2.0 compact and might never go back. So the M&P 2.0 in 9mm is another pistol that I will be getting into as soon as I'm done with the VP9, and then I'm going to do a compare and contrast with the M&P 2.0 and the VP9. So I think I went backwards. I think I started with the better of the two guns first. But there are pros and cons with both. I've shot both. I've already had both of them to the range, but I hadn't run as many rounds through the M&P 2.0 yet, but more to come with that. Let's see here. Slide safety switch. Logan, yes, that is correct. Slide safety switch. That's exactly what that's called. 2.0 for the win. Andrew, you're not going to be happy with what I have to say. So let's what I may end up talking about when it comes to the compare and contrast. My agency still uses the 40 for barrier penetration. It does have decent penetration, and it meets or exceeds the FBI standard of 18 inches worth of penetration through their test. So yeah, we work around cars daily and need the ability to punch inside auto steel and glass. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have that ability. 9mm has that ability as well. There is more of a deflection with 9mm. I've shot from the inside of a car through a windshield and was able to hit a headshot at about 7 yards is what the paper target was. But I will say I was not aiming for the head. I was aiming center mass, and when that round went through, it deflected up and hit head. So Shuts dude, not a big fan of 9mm. Not a big 9mm fan, and that's fine. You know, I know a lot of people who are not a fan of 9mm. They prefer 40 or they prefer 45. Or here recently, with the popularity of 10mm, that is a round that is making a comeback, and so you know that's something to take in consideration. I'm kicking around the idea of looking at one of the Kel-Tec 2000 carbines in 10mm. I'm wondering if maybe I should take the opportunity to get that in my hands and do a review of that and take it out to the range and see what the 10mm is all about. So yeah. So anyway, so excuse me while I drink. I've got a bit of a sore throat right now, so hopefully I'm not coming down with anything. But one of the things that I want to kind of talk about in this episode is the idea of training. So I have the opportunity and I'm locked in for March 31st and April 1st. I will be headed down to Camden, Tennessee to train with James Yeager and Tactical Response. I'm really excited about that. I was hoping to actually get down to Wichita and get some training in with Thunderbird Firearms Academy, but that is not going to happen because their class is full up, and I don't want to take away from any paying customers. If Thunderbird decides that they want to give me a discounted rate or allow me to take the class for free, that's solely up to them. But if they're full up, I don't want to take away a paying customer's place. So there is a number of different things that people can do. Officer Greg, no, it is not vodka. This is water today. I'm hydrating as I should. So, so there's a number of different things that individuals can do to train at home. And one of the great things that I've been able to come across is this little guy right here. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of deformed here. This is just a little rubber piece right here that's kind of folded back. But this little guy right here is super, super cool. If you guys have watched The Gun Collective, there's my Glock 19. This is kind of my competition weapon. This is clear, so you can see here, clear. This little piece right here, and I'm again another video I need to do to get this out. But this little piece right here fits into the back of your slide for your Glock, just like that. And then you can do this. Look right here. See? It does not engage the trigger. It allows you to be able to draw and pull the trigger at any point in time. So what this does for you is it allows you to be able to holster your weapon and draw and then aim and fire, pull the trigger. You will not get that take up and the click from the trigger, but you will have the ability to actuate that trigger. You will have the ability to pull the trigger. Naturally, you want to make sure that first and foremost, you are pointed in the safe direction. You also want to make sure that any ammunition is outside of your preview. You won't have any chance to pick up any type of live ammunition. So what this helps you do is, again, you won't have any of that take up, and you won't have the wall for your trigger to break. But one thing it does help you do for concealed carry or from side draw or competition scenarios, whatever you're trying to set up, it allows you to draw and pull the trigger, focus in on your sight picture, pull the trigger and then you don't have to worry about caulking before you reholster each and every single time, and that allows you to not create bad habits. I hope to have the Gun Guy TV, Joel Persinger, to come on to the show, and we're going to talk about bad habits and training when he comes on, because he made some very interesting comments about his time as a trainer and working with security people. So that is a cool little product. That product is from concealedcarry.com. I will do a full up review on that here very, very soon, so you guys will be able to see that. So that's a product that I'm working with. I've really enjoyed it, and I've had a great time using it. Again, it doesn't allow you to feel that take up and the break of the trigger, but on the opposite side, it doesn't allow you to create bad habits in racking the slide each and every time you reholster. So yeah, so there you go. Let's see. Let's scroll back up. Let's get back into this and see what you guys have to say. Vodka helps with sore throats in Russia. It does. Fortunately, we're in America, so not Russia. Let's see. So Springfield, what's people's thoughts on them? Has that storm blew over yet? I really like the Mod 2 XDS, but would wait for the 9, but people still seem fired up. BR549, I'm still fired up with Springfield. One of the wish list items that I have is a Springfield M1A, or the civilian variant to the M14, and I refuse to buy one. I refuse to buy any of the XD series, all because of what they did with the situation in Illinois. I really find it underhanded and kind of a stab in the back of the people, residents of Illinois, that they would trade an exemption for Rock River Arms and Springfield for the law that they helped support get passed. I don't have 100% of the specifics behind it, but I'm pretty upset. And in fact, let's see, the weekend before last, myself and a friend that is in the live chat right here, Andrew, we had a chance to sit down and have a very long talk about that very specific subject. And I'm still just as fired up. It's been a year since that has happened, and I'm still fired up. Gatorade helps if you're sick, brings up your electrolytes. It does. Very good. And I don't think I'm sick. I just have a little bit of a sore throat. I'm a chatty Cathy, and I think I talked a little bit too much today. So didn't Ruger and Smith & Wesson pull some funny stuff back in the day too? I'm not aware of anything with Ruger and Smith & Wesson. If I'm wrong, by all means, let me know. But I don't know. I'm still fairly young in the gun industry to know about anything back in the day. So I don't know what back in the day is for you. Springfield lost my business about the time they put grip zone on their pistols. Like I need directions to know where to hold. Yeah, exactly. Right. So good on you there, Officer Greg. Is that only for the Glock? It is. Yes. That piece from concealedcarry.com, it is only for the Glock. It is called the Glock Trainer. So you could Google Glock Trainer from concealedcarry.com and it'll come up. I think it runs MSRP on it, I think, is $24.95, I think. So I've really enjoyed it. It's really helped me with my appendix draw for my Glock 26. And I am working with a gentleman out of southern Kansas on some holsters for a G19, kind of the T-Rex Arms sidecar style appendix holster rigs that they've got going on. I'm really super excited for that. Let me see here. Let me check one thing while I'm on that topic, because I get the name of the company confused and I want to make sure I have it correct. Tac Lab. So Tac Lab, you can find them on Instagram at tac.lab. or on Facebook, facebook.com/TACLab2016. I had a very long chat on the phone with Jason, who runs TACLab, and that dude's amazing. Great guy to talk to. He is like a squirrel trying to find a nut, man. That guy is all over the place, and kudos to him on not only putting out some pretty cool holster designs, but also, you know, working full time too, raising a family. He's just all over the place. So Jason, shout out to you and TACLab. Hopefully we can get together here soon on a rig and we can talk about that. So let's see. And Andrew's right here. He says that all companies have done something stupid in the past, but yeah, and I agree with you. But I really, really not happy with Springfield with what they did. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So if you bought something before the drama happened, I don't see anything wrong with that. And matter of fact, if there is a, if I come across a M1A on Arms List or Gun Broker being sold by a private party or something like that, you know, I may very well look into buying a M1A. I love the history behind the M14 and of course the M1A variant. I was watching The Walking Dead last night, trying to catch up on season 8, and there was a guy rocking the 16-inch barrel length on a M1A. I think they call that the M1A SOCOM. So that was pretty cool. So okay, so I've been dodging this question for quite some time, and Officer Greg's putting it to us right here. I'm running behind on some of the questions, but I'm slowly working through. Officer Greg asks your thoughts on the Florida school shooting. I'm a DHS law enforcement active shooter response instructor and train agencies to go in after shooters in scenarios like this. So I think his question is specifically geared towards the deputy that supposedly did not go into the school once the active shooter had started. He's caught a lot of flack. I did see a article that came out from USA Today in which that deputy's lawyer came out and said that he had followed standard procedure in that situation. He thought that the shooter was outside, and while he was outside, he was on the phone with administrators inside the school to look at their CCTV to find out where the shooter was. But that's kind of where that line is drawn for me, because at that moment, once they identified that the shooter is in the school, he then waited for SWAT to arrive, turned over keys to SWAT, drew a map for the SWAT team. I'm like, what is going on here? So I'm very discouraged at the response. Never Enough Ammo put out a video yesterday talking about some of the other shenanigans that's going on, in which the school district in the Miami-Dade area has been working with law enforcement so that they would not go after delinquent teens, which would bring their numbers up, would allow them to get more federal funding and start getting more students into their school districts. Get more students into the school, that means that more federal funding comes in and allows them to gain more money. So there was a number of instances where students had been going out and assaulting and battering people. I mean, we're talking, you know, high-level misdemeanors or even low-level felonies when it came to fighting, and you know, obviously dodging the cops for truancy for school and this and that and the other, and the cops were just kind of hands off. I don't know if any of this is true or not, but I'm starting to see that there is a very systemic problem down that way with not only the school district, but the law enforcement as well. I do not believe that the situation revolving around the weapon that was used in that school shooting is the problem. I think that that is just more of emotions being played, trotting out young people to fulfill some type of political agenda. And it is blatantly obvious. If you take 2 seconds to take a step back, regardless of where you are, conservative, middle, left, staunch Republican, staunch Democrat, liberal, leftists, rightists, whoever you are, if you just take a second to step back and look at everything that's going on instead of allowing emotion to get into it, you're going to see that there is a problem with that particular situation and that person who fell through the fell through the cracks. And it's extremely incendiary that that certain people in politics would use this to further their anti-gun positions. I'm very, very discouraged about it. By all means, this is starting to get into a situation where, for those of us who are supporters of the Second Amendment and the First Amendment, because it is a two-sided issue here, I highly encourage you to do whatever you can to be active right now and really support those people who are trying to support legislation to strengthen our God-given rights and the rights granted to us in the Bill of Rights. So that leads into some of the drama that's going on currently with the YouTubes. All right. So if you guys aren't privy, Mac has shut his channel down. 22 Plinkster got a couple of strikes. He shut his channel down voluntarily. Both of them did theirs voluntarily. They're allowing kind of the wave of emotion to kind of wash over, and then they're going to bring their channel back. Hank Strange had his channel completely deleted because of a consortium of not only individuals going and flagging content, videos from 2 years ago. We saw this with the bump stock situation. We're seeing it again now. I'm surprised that I haven't got a strike yet because of some of the content that I've put out. So by all means, make sure that you guys are keeping your ears to the ground and listening to what's going on with the YouTube community. Support them wherever they can. So I think I've beat that dead horse. Let's move on. Let's see what other questions are popping up here. I'm trying to catch up. Drew Such, I saw his video pop up yesterday. So right on. Bill Clinton days. Yeah. By all means. Head Toes. Hello, great channel. Thank you for your hard work. Just want to watch your best budget AR-10 video. Great information. Thank you. Hey, no problem. You said that you hunt. What do you go hunting for? And what is your favorite part of deer season? Yeah, so I deer hunt. That's mainly what I do. I deer hunt here in Kansas. The season starts in September with archery and muzzleloader season starting about the middle part of September, and then it runs through the end of the year. It has an extended season in January, and then we go from there. So I'm sorry, everybody. If you can give me just 1 second, I've got to see what's going on. I've got my dogs barking here, so sorry. Excuse me. Okay, team. Sorry about that. We got a bit of a windy day and some stuff gets knocked over and then the dogs start freaking out. So sorry about that. So back to hunting. So deer season here in Kansas, like I said, starts in middle of September, runs through the end of the year, has an extended season in the first 1 to 2 weeks in January. I really enjoy my favorite time to hunt is right around Halloween. Halloween is when the pre-rut really starts firing up. Deer start moving about. and then you start bleeding right into the first 2 to 3 weeks of November when the rut starts happening. So mating season for deer, and that's always at a great time too, because deer will pop up that you've never even seen. You might have a trail camera out and you're snapping pictures, and you got this one group of deers or maybe a buck or a couple of does that you've got patterned, and all of a sudden, boom, another deer shows up. You've never seen it before, and that's where it really gets exciting. So in the state of Kansas, right in the middle of October, we have a pre-rut doe only season for firearm. So you get one weekend, a Saturday and Sunday, to go out and utilize your rifle for hunting, which is nice. And then the rifle season usually starts right about the end of November or the beginning of December and runs for about 10 to 12 days. So that's kind of when I shut things down. I may go out. I've been invited to hunt some private land these last 2 years. Unfortunately, this last December, I was unable to make that hunting trip due to a death to a very beloved part of our family. So I was able to had to miss out on that. But, you know, there's always next year, and we'll see what happens. So that's deer hunting. I'm a huge deer fan. I'm mostly bow hunt, but now that I've got this AR-10 and I'm eyeballing a Ruger precision rifle in 6.5 Creedmoor. So I'm looking to get into some precision shooting, start stretching my legs out to 600-700 yards, maybe even further. So all right, let's get caught up here. Yeah, Bald and Curious. I know I'm real behind here. Bald and Curious says, "Hey, Officer Gray, I'd like to see what you have to say with what's going on with the shooting. That'd be interesting." Bald and Curious, I have no idea who Johnny Bravo is, and I don't have any sunglasses handy, so sorry for you. Steve, what do you think we could do as far as school safety? So my personal opinion, with me living in the state of Kansas, with this being a Constitution carry state, a state in which we have written into our state constitution that it is the right of the people to keep and bear arms, I firmly believe that teachers should have the option, not mandated, they should have the option to carry a concealed weapon with them to defend themselves or their classmates. With that being said, I believe that there should be some training that's involved in that. You know, teachers have in-services at least once a month or once every other month. I remember those. I was out of school because of those teacher in-services. Why not implement some type of active shooter training and some weapons qualification as well? I mean, I'd hate to see our schools be militarized, but unfortunately, if the news media continues their onslaught of 24-hour news and continues to focus on these horrific events, they're going to continue to happen. The reason why these continue to happen is because of so much focus and these killers getting their names up in lights. If we just stop reporting on it, it'll go away. I don't say that it'll always go away, but the instances will go away a little bit more. So gun-free zones are ridiculous. I think those need to go away. It's like saying a no coyote zone here. You know, I've got 120 acres behind my house here, and I'm going to post a sign that says a no coyote zone. You really think the coyotes are going to follow that? No, they're going to find their rabbits and anything else. Let's see, plenty of evidence to stop them. Yep. So I'm going to skip ahead in some of these comments. I've gotten really far behind, so I apologize for that. If I miss anything, I do apologize. My daughter's cat was going nuts over your dog's barking. Sorry about that. So 6.5 Creed for those elk. Andrew, yes, if I could ever figure out a way to draw an elk tag up here at Fort Riley, I would definitely be interested in utilizing that 6.5 for that. So, but I may take a trip to Colorado or Wyoming. I've got a good friend in Wyoming, and He's offered a place to stay to kind of use his place as a jumping off point for an elk hunt. So, but cow tags in Wyoming are like $275, and then the out of state hunting license is another, I don't know what, but it's probably another $250 anyway. Let's see. BR549 asks, you know how about the maintenance faculty carrying? They have keys to every room, door, and they have radios. They can respond quickly and communicate. So BR549, that's actually a very good point. So the facility maintenance crew, or as what we once called them, the janitor. I know that that is not a very popular term, but yeah, you're absolutely correct. If you've got people roving around that's going to work, working in and around the school during the day, who have keys, who have radios and so on and so forth, that have the ability to be back in touch with the administrative offices that have access to the closed circuit TV cameras and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really great point. Not to mention, you see this meme that goes around that there's all these veterans who have training and are looking for jobs. That's a viable option too. I think that we just need to have a more in-depth look of what we can do to protect our children. I think there's multiple answers. I think there's more than one answer. I think there's more answers than just allowing teachers to carry, allowing faculty to carry. I think that there are other things that we can look into, as not playing up the media coverage so much. That's one thing. I hate to say this, but putting metal detectors in. I know my daughter's school has a kind of a safe area in which you have to go through one set of doors, and then you have to buzz yourself in. Once you hit the call button, the camera comes on, and the administrative office can see who is trying to enter in. My daughter's school is somewhat small, so the secretaries know most of the parents. But some of these other schools that you're talking 1, 2, 3,000 students in a school, that can be pretty difficult. So, but definitely some type of screening area that you have to get into, and contact someone in the office, allow yourself to be buzzed in, and then go from there. The other thing about my screening area at my daughter's school is once you go in, the doors can lock both on both sides. So if you go in and you're not allowed to proceed into the school, the offices have the ability to lock the other set of doors too, and you're trapped. So that's something to look into as well. But you're talking about money to upgrade schools, and you're probably going to talk about increased taxes, which is something that a lot of people aren't going to be too excited about. So you have to roll with society. You have to roll with changes as a society changes. So yeah, and that's something that we need to take a look to as well. One of the things that I've heard, and I hope that maybe someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the things that I've heard with all of these large mass shootings, with the exception of one, I think they took a slice of 26 of the largest mass shootings here recently, and school shootings as well. The one common denominator is an absent father, with the exception of one person. And I'm not sure if that is vetted, if that is 100% or not, but that's definitely something to take a look at. So definitely we need to be better parents. That's really what it comes down to. We need to really instruct people. So matter of fact, speaking of being better parents, come over here. Baby girl is right here. So what's up? What do you need?
Can I have dessert?
You can have dessert. You most certainly can. Thanks. Appreciate it. Here. So, so there's that right there. I have my daughter, and then I have a son as well. My son is grown and he's moved on with his life. He's a grown man and doing his own little thing, so that's great for him. And it's all about being a good parent, being for them, supporting your kids, and letting them know day in and day out that they're loved and that they mean something to somebody. That's the biggest thing that I really think that if we focused on as a society, is we focused on in the United States to make sure that our kids are loved, we can really change the tide on what happens. So let's see. What else we got here? Modern Mountain Man did a good video on the absentee father thing today. I'll have to check that out. I haven't seen it. I'm not familiar with Modern Day Mountain Man, but I'll have to definitely check out that. Positive role models, 100%. If the corporations are so insistent in solving the problem by not supporting the NRA, let them step up with the funding. So that's actually a great idea. A lot of people complain about the NRA and how they're supporting all of these shootings and they have blood on their hands. Well, you know, I don't really see any other corporations right now, any other major advocacy programs besides what is it, Everytown? Is that what it's called? Everytown or whatever? But they're not, they're just a fringe company or fringe organization that whatever. So to be frankly honest with you guys, I think we've beat this subject into the ground. I'd like to move on because it's depressing. and I've had a depressing day as it is, in the fact that it's Monday. And I wanted to kind of talk about some of the things that are not so depressing. So when was the last mass shooting at a gun range or gun show? That's a good point too. I will say last March, there was a shooting at the Tulsa gun show, but that was a reserve deputy was fumbling around with a I don't know, one of those 2245s or whatever it is, and he didn't clear it, and he pulled the trigger and accidentally shot somebody. Just look up Tulsa gun show shooting, and you'll be able to read it. It's pretty funny, and you can actually see the video of it. It's pretty ridiculous. So moving on. One of the great things that I've got going on right now, and I was working on trying to get this situated and figured out, and I have to step away from the camera once again because I've got something else to show you guys. Hold on a second. Okay, so I didn't have everything set up close to me like I thought I was going to, but I found a great deal. I'm a huge fan. If you guys have been watching the channel, you know I'm a big fan of Aero Precision. Aero Precision is one of my favorite manufacturers because not only are they, I would say, a fairly high quality manufacturer of AR and AR accessories, they're a manufacturer that is within reach of the average man. So this right here is my newest Aero Precision, or not Aero Precision. Yeah, it's Aero Precision. This is the M4E1 AR-15, and it is the billet upper and lower that they have. Now, I bought this as a blim. I bought the upper completely assembled, and that was $3.99. And then I bought a stripped lower for $74.99, and then just threw in the parts that a DPMS lower parts kit. I've got a Seekins Ambi safety and a Geisley SSA trigger. And the reason why I went ahead and got this, oh, by the way, it's a 16-inch pencil barrel, and it's a 5.56 NATO 1-in-7 twist, and Crawley. I can't even say the word. It's lined. It's the chromium lined barrel. So, so okay, okay. Excuse me for 1 second. Do what? Are you done talking to Mom?
No, she sent us a text message. We want to see.
Okay. Excuse me 1 second. I've got a wife that's traveling. Oh yeah, yeah. Look at that. Look at that right there.
Yeah, she took a picture.
Yeah, it's nice. So the wife is traveling, and she took some pictures and some really nice pictures there. So all right, of Chicago. That's right. So. So, with that being said, I have started working with Silencer Shop, and Silencer Shop is going to send silencers to me to test out. This is the rifle that I'm going to use. I reached out to Geisley with my contact there to say, hey, I'm working on this new deal with Silencer Shop. I'm going to be testing a whole bunch of suppressors with them. I'd like to get a ALG trigger. Would you guys mind supporting the channel? And they said, no, we're not going to send an ALG trigger. We're going to send you a Geisley SSA trigger, and then we're also going to send the super charging handle as well. And this is a very, very interesting charging handle. It's specifically designed to help mitigate the blowback of gas in your face. So that's new to the channel. As it stands right now, I have just your standard charging handle with the Aero Precision M4E1, and so I'm pretty excited about that. I'll be able to test out any suppressor that Silencer Shop has in their inventory, and I will be able to bring that to you guys. So that's good news for me, a new development that I'm super excited for. So I am probably going to have to figure out a decent optic for this rifle. I'm thinking MRO. I think I'm going to spring for an MRO. I like the variable optics that are out there. I see Officer Greg here has said the primary arms 1-6 ACSS, and their mount, primary arms runs some pretty awesome stuff. If I could get my hands on one of those, I would. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and buy an MRO and run that, because with a suppressor, I'm not going to shoot anything over and above 100 yards. I mean, I might stretch it out to 200 yards, but there's some deviation in line of sight and impact, round impact on target. So there's some things that we have to consider. So Kansas Brent, hey, good to see you, bud. Great to see you joining the live chat. Really like to look at the M4E1 lower. What sights, optics are you think of it? So yeah, like I said, I don't know as of yet. But with that being said, in the lines of optics, I just got this in the mail. Southern Freedom Arms just sent this over the weekend. I think they shipped it out on Thursday or Friday, and it showed up today. So this is Trinity, the Trinity Force Variants or Veraz, and this is their 35 millimeter red dot. It's got some pretty awesome features. It is motion activated, so it has a battery life of like 50,000 hours, and then it has the auto on, auto off feature, which gives you that prolonged battery life. It is milled out of one solid piece, so you don't have to worry about a mount. The mount's already integrated. So it's going to be a really interesting sight. I may throw it on this and use it for the suppressors, or I may put it onto the Reaper build that I have and run it on there, and then maybe put a more high quality optic on the M4E1, because more than likely the M4E1 is what I'll use for my rifle and 3-gun. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there. What are your thoughts? What do you guys think about should I go red dot? Should I go variable optic on this rifle? I'd like to hear what you guys have to say on that. And I also have to tell you, if you guys are not watching the gun deals that are out there right now, you guys are missing out on a whole bunch. By all means, you need to check out Aero Precision's webpage. You need to check out Gun Pro Deals. I just bought another AR off of there. And I unloaded something so I could buy a Colt LE 6920. They have those for $759 for their standard LE 6920, or you can get the Magpul edition LE 6920 for $799. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I saw that, and I sat on it for about a week, and then I was like, that's it, I got to do it. So I had to unload one of my guns, got the money for that, and then boom, right. And then the very same day, I text my good buddy Jim with Flying Monkey Gunworks and said, order it, I've got the cash. So I like the Hollow Sun and Aim Point. The primary arms are also nice. So Stephen, yeah, that's a very good point. I do have the opportunity to get my hands on a Hollow Sun, but I will. I'm going to run this Trinity Force for a little bit and see what happens with that. To see if I even need to go with a Hollow Sun. So variable optics are pretty cool. I like that ability, but I had a Bushnell 1-4, and I couldn't really get it sighted in very well. I mean, it worked. It worked very good. It had a bullet drop reticle, which was really nice. But for some reason, even though I sighted it in at 100 yards as it instructed me to, it was really weird. It was shooting high at 250 yards when it shouldn't have been shooting high. You should have been putting that 200 crosshair on the target, and you should have been able to hit the target just fine. But for some reason, I had to aim really low on the target to get my rounds to impact. So it was really, really weird. And I'm maybe looking at trying to find an optic that it just has like mil dot sights or mil dot marks on the reticle. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. Let's see, what else we got? Just bought another M4 rifle kits, Palmetto last week. Everything except for the lower $299 strip. Yeah, David G, you're absolutely right. Palmetto Arms, Palmetto State Armory. If you guys aren't on their webpage and in their mailing list, you should get on there too. They have a ton of deals going on, and it's not only their stuff either. They had, and I missed out on it. I was going to buy it if I had the chance. I was going to jump right on it, but they had the Mossberg 500 Cruiser Persuader model. So that's the 20-inch barrel with the full-length magazine tube on that. So it's 7+1 of 2 3/4 shells for $199, and you better believe those things were gone just like that. So hopefully they'll have some more come in and run that deal again. But like I said, I mean, Palmetto State Armory, they're selling Mossberg stuff, so by all means check that out as well. I had the Bushnell, but it was a poor version of it's a poor man version of the PA 1-6. You're absolutely right. Oh, you saw that Mossberg deal too, Dave? Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. It's a pretty good deal. So let's see, what else here? I've got the 5-power primary arms red green dot on my 308. And I think I paid about $300 for it. Yeah, and I'm, Andrew, I'm kind of in the area of not sure what to think about primary arms quite yet. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens as they've been around for a little bit longer. So Rick H is asking, what do you prefer, absolute or lower 1/3 CoWitness? So I prefer absolute CoWitness, and that's just me, because the reason why I prefer that is if I need to make a precision shot with my red dot and I know that my red dot is on, then I can just utilize my front sight post, whether it's fixed or if it's a flip up. If it's a flip up, I just flip it up and I can really get a good precision shot. Or if I wanted to get even further into the weeds, I could pop up the rear sight, my rear backup sight, and then I have 3 points of reference on the red dot. A lot of people like to utilize the lower third, especially the tacti-cool guys, some guys that have got some advanced training, say like your John Lovels. They like to utilize the lower third so that they can have their iron sights up all the time, and it's not a distraction to them, right? If you're co-witnessing and you have a fixed front sight post, it can be somewhat distracting. So it's all a preference thing. I prefer the absolute co-witness because I've been trained that way. Not to say that I couldn't be trained another way. It's just the way that I've worked it for myself. So that's what I have to say about that. I saw something here. I've done 2 M4E1 builds, rock solid, super cool, +1 for MRO. Yeah, MRO, yeah. I'd really like to get a hold of one of those, but those, man, I think I've got the ability to buy one at cost, and even at that point, with the riser, you're looking at like $405, and that's just, man, that's a very that's a very jagged pill to swallow. So Chris Helms, spit it out. Yeah, I know, right? I get the stuttering. Yeah. Officer Greg says that he just bought an Aero Precision scope mount. Yeah, anything from Aero Precision, you're going to get good quality stuff from, and it's going to be at a decent price. They're really starting to get into some of the higher end price ranges with some of their stuff, but I think that is due to the fact that their quality is really starting to become more high end. So, but they run some great deals. So what else? What else do you guys have to say? Anyone else stipple their AR mags? I have not stippled an AR mag. I do have. I'm surprised that he's not actually in the live chat, but American Made 1999. He's been a very active viewer of the channel. He's commented on just about every single one of my videos here in the last month or two. He's been in most of the live chats here recently. He and I have talked, and says that he has the ability to do some of the laser etching into magazines. So I've got 2 magazines that I've set aside to send to him to get my Fit and Fire kettlebell symbol laser etched into the side of it. So I'm pretty excited about that. I was supposed to send it to him last week, didn't get to it, so I got to send it to him this week. Hopefully he'll have those here pretty soon. Yeah, Drew, I know that my buddy Andrew there, he's played with stippling. He's done some pretty cool work with like AR-15 pistol grips. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Drew, that you did a stippling job on one of your Glocks? Was it Glock 19 that you had that you did a stippling job? I thought that was pretty cool. So Kansas Brett here says, I did buy one of the PSA A Kay builds about a year ago, but it was lost in transit, and so I never got it. Oh, goodness, man, that stinks. I really hope that they took care of you with that. It took a while to get a refund from them, unfortunately. So you're saying that was about a year ago. That's tough. You know, Palmetto State Armory has gotten a bad rap with their customer service. I don't know if their customer service is improved. From my time speaking with the marketing director with Palmetto State Armory, I feel that they are extremely focused on improving their customer service over the next year. So I really hope that that is something that we'll see them kind of outlive, you know. So sorry to hear about that, Britt, man. That's got to be tough. That's got to be tough. So I that's something I really need to get into. I need to really start fleshing out the AK-47 that I have. I've taken it out and shot it twice, and it's been a lot of fun to shoot. To be frankly honest with you, I just keep on going back to what I'm used to, and that's the AR-15 platform. Last week when Kansas Britt and I had our live chat, you know, he made the comment that he loves to go out and go to the range, and he's always saying, "Oh, I need to take this one out. I need to take this one out," but he ends up falling back to the ones that he wants to shoot the most, you know. So, and that's kind of me too with my Glock 19. I love the Glock 19. I think it's probably one of the most versatile pistols out there on the market today. My brother just bought his very first Glock 19. Unfortunately, it was a Gen 5. I'm not a fan of Gen 5, but whatever, you know. He's got one, and kudos to him. I'm proud of him for doing that, especially the fact that he is a 1911 guy. He's just like me. He was born and raised to be a proponent of 1911s, and yeah, so a 1911 guy behind a Glock, that's a big thing. So yeah, hey, that's a great thing. It looks like from what I can see right now, we've got 19 likes, so I really appreciate that. I think the highest point that I saw, we had 14 people watching. So I do appreciate that. And we're about an hour. That's about where I'm at for these live chats. Is where I'd like to be, is about an hour. So I really appreciate everybody swinging by. David G, anyone else in North Carolina? Don't think anyone here in is from North Carolina except for you. However, are you, David, watching? Are you guys watching Coda Boy 32 Tactical? If you are not, I'd suggest checking him out. He is from North Carolina as well, so definitely check him out. So I'm going to start wrapping things up here. If you guys didn't see, week before last, I had the announcement of who won the 2000-ish giveaway. That was Viking Pride. So again, congratulations to Viking Pride on that. Your box is in the mail, on its way. So I hope you really do appreciate that. Again, the CMAX donation is still going on. They've got a raffle going on, so definitely check that out. I've got that information in a couple of my live chats previously, so by all means go back and check that out, and you can hit up the link if you want to donate, contribute at all. By all means do that. It's a great cause. If you did get a chance to watch the part 3 of my AR-10, I talked about the couple that allowed me to start using their range, and that's Tall Grass Shooting Sports Complex. That is run by Mike and Lisa Irving, and they also run a nonprofit organization called Flint Hills Foster Teen Camps. If you get a chance, by all means, take a few moments to go over and check those out. That is, let's see, their website is fhftc.org. By all means, go check that out. If you have the ability to make a donation, I'd really encourage you guys to do so. They're doing some great work with the foster teens here in the region and in the state of Kansas. So really do appreciate anybody's support with that. And with that also being said, if you guys are on Instagram or Facebook, by all means, go check out the KS GunCom. That is the Kansas Gun Community group. They have a page on Facebook. They have a page on Instagram as well. Again, go check them out. It's KS Gun Com, COMM, and they will be doing a live chat this Thursday, I think at 8 p.m. So by all means, head over to Facebook and Instagram, check them out. I will be one of the guests on that live chat with a couple other people. I think Fort Scott Munitions is one of the other guests that's going to be on there as well. So, and we're just going to talk about the state of things, the current events that's going on. Again, not only with the recent activity in Florida, but also Las Vegas. We're going to talk about what's going on with YouTube. We're going to talk about the state of affairs with Kansas and the gun community in the United States. So by all means. I'm also in contact with Never Enough Ammo. So I'm hoping to be a part of his video podcast here soon. Not sure exactly when that's going to happen. Joel Persinger is going to be a guest on this live chat here in the next few weeks, hopefully, if not maybe into the month. Also talking with Travis P11 and having him on here soon. And who else? Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now with some of the guests. Hope you guys stick around for some of my other live chats. Good show tonight, 2A all day. Kyle, I really appreciate it. BR549, I appreciate your support as well. Officer Greg, I think this is the first time I've seen you in the live chat. Thank you so much for swinging by. David G, of course. Yeah, I think this has been probably one of the best chats that I've had so far, and just engaging everybody in the audience. I sure do appreciate you guys swinging by. Andrew, of course, buddy. You know, we've got each other's six, man. I really appreciate everything that you've done and how much of a best friend that you've been over the last, man. We're looking 25 years. Can you believe that? Can you believe that, Drew? 25 years. Wow, that's crazy. So that about covers it, man. By all means, do what you can. Find me on Instagram at FitandFire78. That's where I'm putting most of my workout stuff. If you guys are interested in working out or any type of workout type stuff, by all means, check that out. I'm also on Facebook. I got a new public figure account with Facebook, so check that out. That's Fit and Fire, or facebook.com/fitandfire. Could use some support there. Do whatever you can to help me spread the channel by liking my videos, sharing my videos, commenting in the videos. I'd really appreciate that as well. Kansas Brit, thank you for being a part of the live streams. I really do appreciate not only you being in the audience, but also last week's. There's a number of comments that came out of our chat last week about how great of a guy you are and how interesting you are. So I'm going to make some phone calls and see if I can get you possibly over on 180 Second Ideas' page. See if you'd be interested in having a chat with him. He would have a lot of fun. I think the two of you guys, I think both of you would have a lot of fun with that live chat. So that's something you're interested in, man. Shoot me over a DM on Instagram, or just text me and let me know if you're interested in that, and we'll see if we can get that set up. So, all right, guys. Again, thanks for everybody swinging by. Sure do appreciate it. I thank you so much for all the support, and we'll see you next week. Hope to have some more videos coming out here pretty soon. Oh, Olight. I should hopefully have an Olight video tomorrow, hopefully, with the PL2 Valkyrie. So stay tuned for that. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. You guys have a good night. God bless. Good luck.